Hi, I'm Brent Michael Phillips. Welcome back for day 7 of our series on spiritual investing. Today we're going to talk about consciousness and investing. Because here's the thing. You can do a lot of block clearing, law of attraction, and the metaphysics is useful. But it's only going to get you so far because it won't make a fundamental shift in your consciousness. What I want to introduce you to is the idea that your level of consciousness has a huge impact on how you invest. And when you're stuck in lower consciousness, you'll be forced to use tools and systems and approaches that just don't work well. I want to show you how to lift yourself up into higher consciousness to have greater success. So, how do we talk about consciousness? I'm going to give you a very simple model right now. And in my trainings and my material, like my 30 Days to Awakening program, I go much deeper into this. And so check it out if you like it. There's 3 primary stages of human consciousness. What we call the victim, which is the lowest consciousness, the victor in the middle, and the vehicle, which is the highest consciousness. And quite simply, when you're in victim consciousness, you think that things outside of you have all the power, right? As a victim, you're like, oh, it's my boss, it's my neighbor, it's the government, it's the weather, whatever, right? Nothing is ever your fault, and what you do doesn't really matter. So that is the lowest form of consciousness, and it doesn't work very well. Victims don't make lots of money, period, right? And if they get lucky, win the lottery, they're gonna lose it. I'm not being critical, I'm just saying that's how it works, right? If you wanna make more money, you gotta raise your consciousness. The middle range of consciousness is what's called the victor. And just so you know, that is the primary consciousness of most of the industrialized world today. As the victor, you see yourself as a separate being, but you believe that what you do and what you learn and how you do it will make a big difference in what happens in your life. And this is an enormously important step forward from victim consciousness. Because as the victor, you go get an education, you learn a skill, you develop friendships and relationships, right? You develop a reputation, you make money, you compile assets, you invest them, you make more money. And so the victor is a huge step forward because you believe what you do matters, so you take it more seriously. Now here's the thing. It's really easy to tell the difference between a victim and a victor. It's obvious, right? A victim, it's never their fault. What they do doesn't matter. It's usually about instant gratification, just getting through the day. Not too concerned with the big picture, the long term, right? A victor, by contrast, is very concerned with what they're learning and what they're doing. They realize you need an education, a credential, a background, experience, a skill that you then apply to make money. So a victim would just randomly put money into something and hope it goes up. A victor would go and research it and find something that looks promising that they think is going to go up and then take a calculated risk. So the victor is a huge step forward, but we're still not done. To get to the highest stage of consciousness, you need to become a vehicle. As a vehicle, we surrender the agenda of the ego and trust that the divine is guiding us. We become a pure vessel of divine will. And this is tricky because it's hard for many people to tell the difference between the victor and the vehicle, for a couple of reasons. One is, most people don't even know vehicle consciousness exists. The vast majority of the population on our planet is either in victim or victor mode. As a victim, it's just about instant gratification, right? Drug use, gambling, sex, disassociation, TV, whatever, right? Not that those things are inherently bad, but it's all about the instant gratification. As the victor, you take responsibility for your life. You learn skills. You get experience, you make money, you develop friendships, etc., right? Most people have no idea there is a vehicle level. Because to most people, they wouldn't even consider releasing the agenda of the ego. Most people think what I want is what I want and no one can tell me differently and this is just what I want. What I'm going to offer is that all comes from the ego and the rational mind. I'm not saying it's always incorrect or wrong, but I'm saying a lot of the time it is. Why? The rational mind is incredibly limited. It knows just a tiny little bit of what's going on. And so to become the vehicle, we must surrender to the divine. Now notice I choose that word carefully. I'm not saying giving up. Giving up is what victims do. But vehicles surrender because they realize that whatever ideas you have about yourself, your life, and your rational mind, that's still very limited. That the divine mind, the intuitive mind, knows vastly more. And so the difference between the victor and the vehicle is subtle. It's on the inside. Why? Victors and vehicles do the same thing. Vehicles have jobs. They pay their taxes. They have 401k plans. They manage their investments. They go to the doctor when they're sick. They do all the same things that victors do. So in terms of the action and activity, victor and vehicle look almost identical, but the difference is on the inside. As a victor, the trap is attachment to result, addiction. Oh, I have to make more money. I have to get famous. I have to buy this, or I have to be with this person. That attachment is poisonous. It slows us down. It creates suffering. It throws us off track. It reduces our performance. Remember we talked about free throws in an earlier video? That's right. The only difference between a free throw in the NBA Finals and on the playground is attachment. It's the same shot, right? 15 feet, 10 feet. In other words, 15 feet from the hoop, 10-foot hoop. Nobody can guard you, play defense, you just shoot. So victors are held back by the attachment. The vehicle does the same things as the victor, but from a detached place. The vehicle understands that all we can do with our rational mind and ego is decide what we think is best and go do it, and surrender the result to the divine. That's what I mean by letting go of the agenda of the ego. And that's not easy to do. For those that want to learn more about it, the only way that really works is the awakening process. And it is a process. It's not something you can do in an hour. It'd be like saying, Brent, can you teach me to master the guitar in an hour? No, I can't. That's impossible. If you want to learn guitar, you have to get a guitar, get a teacher, practice your chords, learn the techniques, learn the scales, practice your fingering, all that, right? And over time, you can become very skilled. But it takes work. Awakening is the same. There is no 5-minute awakening. But you can do it if you want to. You can get past the attachment. You can embody yourself with the quantum field. Fill yourself with divine energy, your connection to life itself. And ultimately, the vehicle will get much better results because they're taking action. The action is chosen by the ego, but the result is surrendered to the divine. So I hope you see how this is a subtle thing, right? The difference between the victim and the victor is obvious. Victims don't take responsibility. They don't think things through. They don't care. Victors do. So victors don't sit around all day watching TV expecting the universe to send them money. They get a job, they learn a trade, they make an investment, they start a company, and they work at it, right? The vehicle does all the same things as the victor, but from a place of detachment. From a place of detachment. In other words, you're trusting the divine to choose the right result. Because as the victor, we think it's all about cause and effect, right? Right action, right result. It's not that simple. The context of the action matters. The energy of the actor matters. And as long as you're attached to result, giving meaning to it, it's going to hold you back. It's kind of like running a marathon with a weight vest. It's interesting that most of us make our lives so much more difficult than they need to be just with attachment. That life is hard enough as is, right? Add an attachment, it's nearly impossible. As an example, in my old CrossFit gym, there was a tradition that every Memorial Day they would do the Murph workout. And it's a brutal workout. It's really hard. You run a mile, then you do 100 pull-ups, then you do 200 push-ups, then you do 300 air squats, then you run another mile. And oh, by the way, you do it all wearing a 25-pound weight vest. Oh my God, right? It's really, really hard. It takes months, years of training just to be able to do it. And almost no one does it with the weight vest. Why? It's so ridiculously hard, right? Very few people can do 100 pull-ups even without a weight vest on. To do Murph, you have to do 100 pull-ups with a weight vest on. Here's my point. Living as the victor from attachment, trying to make money from attachment, from ego, the rational mind, is like doing Murph with a weight vest. You might pull it off, you might get lucky if you're in really good shape, but for most people, it turns something that's extremely difficult into impossible. And we wonder why we're not making money, right? We wonder why we're not flourishing. It's not your fault. You just got trained to live ass backwards. I'm here to try to straighten that out. And you can do this. And to finish this video, I'll give you a couple great steps forward so you can become that spiritual investor, perfect your psychology, embody yourself with energy, connect to the quantum field, raise your consciousness, change your whole life. Before we get to that, I'm going to ask, please take a moment. Please click like. Please click subscribe. If you're not sure if you did, go do it again, right? Give it a good mash. Hit it 3 or 4 times. Awesome. If you like this, please share it with your friends. Post it on your social media. I really want to reach out and help as many people as I can. If you haven't been to my website, go ahead and check it out, awakeningdynamics.com. Should be a URL in the description. Take the spiritual power quiz, come to one of my heal-a-thons or my wealth clubs or other online events. I'd love to work with you, show you how to do this, let you experience higher consciousness for yourself and see that it really works. Don't believe anything you hear on YouTube just because you heard it on YouTube, right? Go apply it and see for yourself if it delivers results. That's why I'm here. So how do we move forward? One, you got to clear your subconscious, right? The digging tools, subconscious block clearings and downloads through the theta state that I teach is a great way to get started. So clearing the subconscious with metaphysical tools, I'd love to teach you that or work with you one-on-one or in a group. They're all options. Just head to my website, see what appeals to you. We also got to wake you up. And I'm not talking about wokeness here. No, totally different thing. What I'm talking about is spiritual awakening, understanding exactly what this you is. What is life? What is God? What is you? How does it all relate? That's what awakening is for. Awakening will completely transform your life by catapulting you into the vehicle state. A victim becomes a victor through self-empowerment. Watching Oprah, Dr. Phil, joining the Marines. These are all great things that turn victims into victors. But to turn a victor into a vehicle, the only way is awakening, is to completely redefine your idea of you and life and the divine. And this is not something I made up. This has been around for thousands of years. It's in the Vedic scriptures. It's the core of Buddhism. It's the core of Christianity. It's the core of all religions, in case you didn't know. So this is not just something Brent Michael Phillips came up with. This is something that has been around since the beginning of human history. I've just articulated it and packaged it in a way that I think you will find very convenient and useful and easy. That's all. But we got to wake you up to get past your attachment and learn about the thermostat. Learn about how the investing process really works. Learn how to reframe your context, how to reprogram your conditioned responses. You do all that, that leads you to the highest level work, which is the quantum field. That is the essence of the divine intelligence. And quite simply, victims don't really invest, or when they do, they just gamble blindly. Victors invest through analysis and reason and information, maybe a little blind gambling. Vehicles invest intuitively. They combine rational information, research, ideas with intuitive guidance. And that's the big secret. That's what's going to give you the biggest results at the end of the day. And we have to reconnect you to the quantum field. We literally need to refill your mind and body with pure energy of God consciousness. That is what's really going to make you the money. That's what's going to catapult your life ahead. Give the ability to make all the money you need through your investments so that you can spend every day doing what you love, what you're good at, what you're passionate about. Because the world needs your gift. And it sucks that so many of us are stuck trading time for money because we don't know any other way to make ends meet. I'm here to lead you out of that. And it's not about a blind hope or faith. It's about finding things that work and trying them a little bit and showing yourself that it does and then doing more. And if you would like me to be your guide, I would love to work with you. If not, I'm totally cool with you watching these videos and taking whatever you like from here and applying it to your life. But don't be shy. If you want to learn more, if you want to get the training, learn how to clear blocks, do instant healings, refill your body with consciousness, understand the market from a vehicle's perspective, get in touch. I would love to work with you, help you transform your life for yourself, your family, the community, and the whole world. That is my vision, and that's my purpose for being here. So we're at the end of the series now, and I do sincerely hope that you found all this information and all these videos some combination of informative, educational, and transformational. So use this, share it, come to my events. I would love to help you change your life. Until next time, I'm Brent Michael Phillips. Take care and namaste.